All right, so now we're going to look at writing quadratic equations. So what that means is they're going to give us some information, and now we have to work backwards to get to our equation. So the first one says, example 1, the solution to the quadratic, we're at 5 and 3, which quadratic function meets both requirements? So remember, by solutions, they mean x-intercepts. So that means that x is equal to 5 and x is equal to 3. So when we go to write our binomial, remember we want to say that this is x minus 5 and this is x minus 3. They're going to be an opposite sign, okay? So if it's a plus here, then it's a minus here. If they were negative, then it would be plus. You're doing the opposites. So now, when we go to work it out, we need to multiply this times this. So let's go ahead, since y'all seem to like it so much before, and do the box method. So we have x minus 3 and we have x minus 5. So remember, you're going to do x times x, which is an x squared. Now we're going to do x times, because this is over here, a negative 3, which is minus 3x. Then we come down, x times a negative 5 is minus 5x. And then we have negative 3 times a negative 5 would be a positive 15. So when we go to combine our terms, this is the only x squared we have. This is a minus 5x and a minus 3x. So if we do a negative 5, just in case we don't know how to add that in our head, negative 5 plus a negative 3 is negative 8. So it's going to be minus 8x. Then our last one is a constant. It's a number that's by itself. We have plus 15. So does this look like anything that we see? If we look, it looks like it's letter A. But let's check it. If we go to graphs, do new document. Do you want to save? Say no. Go to add graphs. Graph it. X squared minus 8x plus 15. Does it go through at 5 and 3? If we look, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It does. So our answer is A. So let's look at example 2. The roots to a quadratic equation are 0, negative 2, which best represents the related quadratic function. So we still need to remember, roots is just saying our x-intercepts. Okay, root is another word for x-intercepts. Root, solution, zeros. They gave us our x-intercepts now using these funky brackets. That's just another way to say that x equals 0 and x equals negative 2. Okay, it's just a different way of saying the same thing. Okay, guys, that's all they're trying to do. So when we have x equals 0, it's going to be x plus 0. X equals negative 2, so now it's x plus 2. So we need to multiply these together. So let's draw our box. We'll have x, and we have a plus 2, x, and a 0. Okay, x times x is x squared. X times 2 is 2x. X times 0 is 0. 0 times 2 is also 0. Don't believe me? Put it in your calculator. So now if we combine our like terms, it looks like we have an x squared. And we also have a 2x. So let's look. We have x squared plus 2x. Well, do we have any of those? It looks like our answer is D, but let's check it. So if we go to add graphs, and we do x squared plus 2x, does it go through at 0 and negative 2? Yes, it does. We have a 0 and a -2. So this would be D is our answer. If we're looking at number 2, sometimes you might want to be careful because if you look at letter C, if it has a GCF, you could factor out 2 and then x squared plus 2x. If you look, you would have the same thing. If you were to graph this guy, C could also be your right answer. So you need to be careful about stuff like that. All right, let's look at number 3. All right, so if you look, there's all these ways they could give it to you. They could give it to you, it says, sorry, let's read it. Select the equation that represents the parabola graph below. So if we look at our parabola, this is our origin. It looks like it crosses at x equals 1 and -1, 2, 3, 4, -5. So what we need to do is find out which one. So if it's at x equals -5 and x equals 1, our factors will be x plus 5 and x minus 1. So looking, it's not going to be the first one, x plus 5, x minus 1. It will be the second one. What I would do is I would just start going through. A testing strategy we can use is that we can just graph them and see which ones match. So if we graph the first one that I scratched out, parentheses, x minus 5, close parentheses, open parentheses, x plus 1. What does it match? Does it cross at +1 and -5? No, it doesn't. So go on to the next one. Tab and do the one that I checked off. X plus 5, close parentheses, open, x minus 1. Does it go through +1 and a -5? Yes, it does. So we checked it. Let's look at number 3, the third one, the one that's worked out. Let's see, we get x squared plus 4x minus 5. Does it go through a +1 and a -5? Yes, it does. So this one would be our answer. If we want to leave it, we can just graph the other ones and see which one falls on it. So let's graph this one up here. We get x squared minus 4x minus 5. And it does not. It's the red one. We want it to match up to the blue one, so it's not going to be this guy. Let's go to the second one in that column. Open parentheses, x plus 2, close parentheses, squared. Make sure you type it in just like it's written. It's nothing tricky. If we look, those do match up. It falls right on top of it. And then let's try, hit tab, go back to the second one. It's going to be -9. Type it in just like it's written. That one comes over here. So it is not going to be that one either. So those are the 3 that it matches to. If you had worked out x, if you drew your box, and you did x plus 5 and x minus 1, you did x squared, 5x minus x minus 5, and you combined your like terms, you would get x squared plus 4x minus 5, and you would see that it matches that. This is standard form, which we'll look at more, or sorry, vertex form, we'll look at more next week. So there is 2 more examples still on the back, so let's look. Example 4. Which of the following equations has solutions listed in the table below? Since we don't know how to do the table, well, we know how to do the table. Remember, in your calculator, it's Control T. So what I would do, graph them, see which one matches. Put it over here so there's no glare. Go to Add Graphs, x squared plus x minus 6. Control T. It starts at -4, so I would go up to -4. -4, 6. Oh, it's not that one because this one says -4, 2. So Control T out of the table. Tab, you get x squared minus 6. Sorry, x squared minus x minus 6. Control T, go up to -4, and it says 14, so that's not it. And I'm just checking them. I'm starting at -4 and seeing which ones match. We get x squared plus 5x plus 6. Control T. Scroll up to -4. Oh, -4, 2. -3, 0. -2, 0. -1, 2. 0, 6. And let's check the last one. We get 1, 12. So winner is C. Okay, that's just a testing strategy, okay? Plug it in, see which one matches. Let's look at number 4. Or actually, it's example 5, huh? If you want to change that. The graph of y equals a, x minus 1 squared plus 4 is shown below. If the equation is rewritten as y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, what are the values of a, b, and c? Substitute in, guys. This is your a. These are the a values that they give you. This is the b. These are the b values that they give you. Last but not least is c. These are the c values. Plug them in. See which one matches. If you want to rewrite it so it's less confusing, a is the same as saying 2x squared plus 4x plus 2. B is the same as saying -2x squared plus 1x plus 4. C is the same as saying -2x squared plus 4x plus 2. D is the same as saying -x squared plus 4x plus, I should have wrote minus, a -2. And right away, if you look at your graph, it opens down. So you know your a value has to be a negative number. So that means that it's not a. Okay, so then you can start with the letter B, graph it, and see which one matches. So if we hit tab and we start with -2x squared plus x plus 4 and hit enter, does it match? This one, it falls between 0 and -1 and then 2 and 3. This one's on the other side, so they don't match. Yes, they both go down, but guys, you have to pay attention to the details. So it's not B. So if we hit tab, let's type in letter C plus 4x plus 2. That one's closer. They fall in the same ranges. So what I would do is I would just type in letter D just to make sure. And if you look, no, that scoots it over. So now it's not even in the -1 range. So your answer is C.